All right, let's step into the heat and talk about saunas. It's a tradition that's been around forever, but it's making this huge comeback. And honestly, it's all thanks to some pretty incredible new science. So we're going to break down what all the buzz is about. So why the sudden hype? Well, it boils down to powerful numbers just like this one. There was this major study out of Finland, where saunas are basically a way of life, that followed over 2,000 guys for 2 decades. And what they found was wild. The men who hit the sauna 4 to 7 times a week, they had a 63% lower risk of sudden cardiac death. A number like that, well, it's pretty hard to ignore.
Okay, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll dig into the science-backed benefits. Then, we'll put traditional and infrared saunas head-to-head and really get into the weeds on infrared tech. After that, we'll get real about the costs. And finally, we'll cover the must-know safety rules for setting up your own little retreat.
All right, let's jump right into section 1. Why saunas are so hot. And no, I'm not just talking about the temperature. Their popularity is exploding, and it's all because the research is starting to show some very real, very compelling health benefits. And what's so fascinating is how the benefits seem to stack. The same group of researchers found that that same routine, 4 to 7 sessions a week, was also tied to a 47% lower risk of high blood pressure. The message here is pretty clear, right? When it comes to your heart, making the sauna a regular thing, a real habit, is what makes all the difference. And the good news doesn't stop with your heart, not by a long shot. The heat helps your body chill out by lowering the stress hormone cortisol. It's great for muscle recovery and aches because it boosts circulation. So many people swear they sleep better, and some studies even suggest a link between frequent sauna use and a lower risk of getting sick. Okay, now let's get into the most fundamental choice you're gonna face. Section 2, traditional versus infrared heat. This all comes down to how you get warm. And believe me, the two methods are worlds apart. This is it. This is the #1 question people ask. And the answer isn't about which one gets hotter. It's about the physics of how they get you hot. It's a totally different approach. I love this analogy because it just clicks. A traditional sauna is basically like an oven. It heats up the air around you, and that super hot air is what warms up your body. But an infrared sauna, that's more like sitting in the sun. It uses invisible light waves to warm your body directly, from the inside out without needing to scorch the air in between. And that one difference creates 2 completely different experiences. Traditional saunas get blazing hot, right? Up to 195 degrees Fahrenheit, and you get that classic steamy experience. Infrared saunas are way milder, usually maxing out around 160 degrees. It's a dry heat, and get this, they're ready to go in just 15 minutes. That's a huge plus if you're trying to fit it into a busy day. Now, if that infrared option caught your attention, hold on, because there's actually another layer to peel back here. Let's move on to section 3, the infrared deep dive. Because as it turns out, not all infrared is created equal. So first up, we've got near infrared, or NIR. Think of these as the shortest wavelengths. They only go skin deep, just a few millimeters. Because of that, NIR is mostly tied to things like boosting collagen production and just generally improving the health of your skin. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you have far infrared, or FIR. These are much longer wavelengths, and they can penetrate way deeper into your body. We're talking up to 1.5 inches. This is the kind of heat that gets right into your muscles and joints. It's the go-to for deep tissue relief, a good detox sweat, and just overall relaxation. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, do I have to pick just one? The answer is nope, you don't. You can actually find full-spectrum saunas that combine all the different wavelengths in one session, giving you, at least in theory, the widest possible range of benefits. Okay, enough science for a minute. Let's shift gears and get practical. Section 4, the cost of a sauna. What does it actually take, dollars and cents-wise, to bring one of these amazing wellness retreats right into your own home? So according to data from Angie, the home services site, the average cost to build a sauna at home is right around $3,000. But, and this is a big but, that's really just a starting point. The biggest thing that's going to affect your final cost is whether you go with a prefab kit or a completely custom built. The prefab kits are definitely the more budget-friendly way to go. But if you want total control and have a specific vision, a custom build gives you all that flexibility, though the price tag can easily climb past 10 grand. So where does all that money go? Well, it's a pretty even split. About 40% is for the materials themselves, the wood, the heater, all of that. Another 40% goes to labor for the actual installation. And that last 20%? That's for the specialists, the licensed electricians and plumbers you'll need to make sure everything is hooked up safely and is up to code. And that brings us to our final section, and honestly, it might be the most important one of all. Section 5, Rules for your retreat. Before you even think about building, you have got to understand the safety and regulatory stuff. Look, the first rule of building a sauna is simple. Do your homework. Start by checking your local building codes because you'll almost definitely need a permit. Proper ventilation is also a total non-negotiable for safety. That usually means a vent down low near the floor and another up high near the ceiling. And the wood you pick really matters. Cedar and hemlock are popular for a reason. They just naturally handle heat and moisture like champs. And these features right here, they're not just suggestions. They are absolute must-haves, and many building codes actually require them. The floor has to be non-slip. The door has to open outwards, so you can never ever get trapped inside. And you need a good thermometer and an automatic timer that acts as a failsafe. These are the details that make sure your relaxing retreat is also a safe one. So, to wrap it all up, here's a quick cheat sheet. Go for a traditional sauna if you want that authentic, super hot, steamy experience that has the most research behind it. Choose far infrared if you're looking for a gentler, deep heat for daily muscle relief. And you might consider near infrared for more specialized, skin-focused therapy. And as you can see, the price tags pretty much line up with those different goals. So at the end of the day, the choice really boils down to what you're looking for. Is it the intense ritual of a traditional sauna or the quiet, targeted therapy of an infrared one? Now that you know the science, the experience, and the cost, the only question left to answer is, what kind of heat is the right kind for you?